Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Simple Invest 360 Education Week for this year. Today, we're going to be covering a lot of the reporting or the new reporting features that we have in Simple Invest. Now, before we get into the actual content itself, we do have to go through a few little housekeeping things. Now, the first thing is at the moment, everybody is on listen only mode. However, if you do have any questions, and we do encourage questions throughout all our sessions this week, please feel free to utilize the Q&A panel in your Zoom application. I'm also joined by a couple of my colleagues here. So I've got Daniel and Chris from the product education team. And I've also got Andrew from the Simple Invest 360 product team. So a lot of knowledge here. If you have any questions, type that, and all of us together will endeavor to ensure all your questions are answered. Also, the webinar is going to be recorded. So if you miss anything or you ever want to watch this back, we will send out the recording and post it on the YouTube channel. If you are registered, you will receive that in your email. So be sure to have a look out for that as well. Now, again, this webinar makes up the series of webinars that we're running throughout the entire week. Each day at 11:30 here in Melbourne, we're going to be running a webinar around some of the features that are in Simple Invest 360. Yesterday, we covered property dashboard. Today, we're going to cover some of the reporting features that we have here. But if you are interested, feel free to sign up for any of the courses. I've got Chris who's posted the registration link in the chat box. So feel free to sign up for any or all the courses itself. Even though you may not be able to attend any and all the courses, simply by registering, that'll ensure that you're on the list to receive the recordings and the slides for each of our sessions. So definitely feel free to do that as well. Now, a little bit about me. I'll introduce myself. My name is Norman, part of the product education team here at BGL. Been with BGL for going on 12 years now, so a fair while. I graduated from uni with a business and commerce degree, and I majored in accounting. And from that experience, I also had experience in accounting firms doing processing in a lot of the desktop programs back in the day. And one of the programs that I learned through that experience was one of the BGL products called Simple Fund Desktop. So hopefully there are users here that are a bit familiar, hopefully, with the Simple Fund Desktop program, not Simple Fund 360. But back in the day, yeah, I used Simple Fund Desktop, and I felt like I was quite quite good at it. So good, in fact, that I did find myself getting a lot of the work with the, let's say, more involved funds that had a lot of managed investments and corporate actions and things like that. For those of you who might be sitting there thinking that, oh, Norman, corporate actions and managed investments, they're pretty easy to process. Not so much in Simple Fund Desktop. It's like I guess the kids say these days, if you know, you know. So hopefully there's some desktop users that can vouch for me there. If you ever had to do a corporate action in one of our desktop programs, you'll know that it's a very involved process. But I did enjoy it. I guess from really learning the products initially, it was, and because of how BGL products are developed, we use a double entry accounting system. So everything in your reports is really tied to a transaction. So you do a transaction that's going to feed into your reports, and you look at a figure in your reports that feeds back to a transaction. So especially when learning the programs, you would post a transaction. I would then go to the reports, generate the PDF, see what happened out of that, and to ensure that that's correct. Fast forwarding a little bit forward, I ended up joining BGL, and one of the things that interested me about BGL was that it gave me the opportunity to learn more about the softwares they develop on a much more personal or much more deeper level. So I initially joined BGL as a support consultant at the start. And I did really enjoy being a support consultant. And one of the things I loved about being a support consultant was, picking up the phone and getting a call from a client saying, "Hey, Norman, I'm having a problem with my funds. The balance sheet is out of balance," or something along the lines of, hey, I'm having trouble reconciling some of the reports. For anybody that knows me, they know that I really enjoy games. I like puzzles. I like anything that has to do with problem solving. I actually really get a thrill of finding solutions to puzzles and things like that. So I really traded those kind of calls or issues that clients were having as puzzles. And I really got the excitement and thrill of solving those issues. So whenever we had a balance sheet out of balance, again, everything's tied to a transaction. You'll go into a transaction, see what's happening with the transaction, see what's happening with the reports, and then find out um, what's happening there. So with that, um, that experience, one of the features I'm excited to show you today is the smart report screen. And the smart report screen, and what's really cool about it is it really ties in what we have in the report screen with your transaction screen. It makes it easier to flip between what's in your reports to your transaction screen and go vice versa as well. So we're going to go into the software itself, Simple Invest 360. Give me a moment while I flip over to the program itself. So hopefully you can see that now. Now from the left-hand menu, here's Simple Invest 360. From the left-hand menu, we're going to reports. And from reports, we'll go into smart reports. Now here's our smart report screen. And for those of you that have got experience with Simple Invest 360, you'll initially know about our live report screen. And a live report screen, and what it does is it gives you an interactive report. So a trial balance where you can interact with, go to some transactions within that screen. Our smart report screen is an evolution of that live report screen, but we've added more features and more reports that you can generate through the screen. So here from the left-hand menu, we've got into the smart reports and specifically the trial balance. Now within our trial balance, you've got the different items within the trial balance. But if you go over to the right-hand side of each ledger, you can click on the icon on the right-hand side and it'll give you a list of all the transactions that make up that account. This is something I would have loved to have back in the day when I was doing the fund processing and being a support consultant, because instead of having to have the transaction screen open to filter through that, go through your reports, now I can do everything within the screen itself. So here I can go into the transaction. I can see a breakdown of all the transaction. I can click on the transaction and it'll give me the transaction itself. So I can make any edits instantly, go back into the screen, and simply by clicking on the refresh button, it'll instantly refresh it. So there's less loading time from having to, you know, produce a report, generate a PDF. I can instantly see how things change as I post transactions here. Now, also within this screen, and all our screens itself, you can tick any of the items and also have the ability to attach documents to those items as well. Now, we've got a question as well. Is this available in Simple Fund 360? And yes, this is also available for Simple Fund 360 users as well. So not only Simple Invest, but also Simple Fund has access to this screen as well. So with this, you can tick an item, click on Add Document, and upload documents from your computer or other sources and upload them into those particular accounts. And it almost interacts, or almost works as a pre-work papers function where you can upload documents to accounts within here before even going through your work papers feature under accounting work papers. So our next tab that we have under your smart reports is your general ledger. Now, initially we thought the trial balance would be enough, but from user feedback, people did want to have an interactive general ledger. So we've done that as well. So from here under the general ledger, you've got your items. On the right-hand side, you can click on each item and same thing, it will take you to your transaction screen. So here, and I know that a lot of people these days, they work with dual monitors. So you can have a tab up open with your transaction screen, have another tab up with your smart report screen and instantly interact with one and will update the other as well. We've also added more financial reports, which we didn't have before. So we've got a financial statement, operating statement, cash flows as well. And we've got the opportunities to also expand that if we get enough feedback about doing that as well. So within our financial statements, you've got the ability to provide different comparative periods as well. So here we can go up to even 4 comparative periods, giving us 5 financial years within this particular screen. You can change the reporting period, so you can do it between financial years, quarters, even months as well. Now, within each item, it will have headings. We're currently in the summarized view, but you can expand it and it'll give you all the sub accounts within those views as well. So here, same thing. I've got the link and that'll take me to the transaction screen, instantly filter between all the transactions within that particular account, which is really cool there. Now, also we've got the operating statement, but within these screens here on the right-hand side, if you look above, you've also got the AI analysis. Now, not a lot of people users, especially your clients that you'll be interacting with, may not like to look at a spreadsheet with all these numbers in it. The AI analysis is really designed to help communicate this information in a different way. So if you click on AI analysis, instantly the program's going to give you a breakdown of all the figures and how the fund is performing based on the comparative figures that you have in screen. But also it's something that you can interact with. So if there's any quick questions that you might have, maybe you want to ask it about BHP dividends, for example, this year, should hopefully give me a result based on that year. So it's something that you can quickly query and just ask it questions. But also you can think of it on the side of your own clients. So perhaps you invite them to have access to some of the reporting features within Simple Invest. Instead of them having to always, give you a call, ask you questions, they could perhaps interact with the AI bot and ask it questions about how the fund's performing in certain areas. And again, the AI bot will give you answers based on the information within the screen that you're in at that time. Now, the next tab that we have is your statement of cash flows. And within our statement of cash flows, you've got the analytics, more importantly. Now, within that analytics, you've got the ability to assign a notification whenever the bank balance hits a certain figure. So whether it goes down to a certain figure or up to a maximum limit, you can set that in screen. Now, what will happen if the bank balance does hit a certain minimum or maximum? Overnight, the program is going to create a job for you, and it will be under your workflow job. So essentially giving you a notification to say, hey, it's hit a minimum, for example, you'll need to contact the client to maybe top up that account or determine what to do from there. Now, the last tab is your account view. Account view, again, like your general ledgers, give you access to the balances across different accounts within the entity that you're working on. But not a lot of users know about the account view and that it's accessible from any screen that you're in. So not only is it under your smart reports, but let's say that you're in your transaction screen, perhaps, and if you click on your account view at the top here, you'll have access to your account view here. So perhaps you're entering transactions and then you want to see the totals of each account. You can quickly search that without even having to go to your report screen or your smart reports. You can generate that from your account view. So definitely a powerful tool. And you can see there's hardly any load time within those screens. So without you having to go into your report screen, you can instantly pull up those figures. So again, with the smart reports, we definitely do invite you to have a look at it. So maybe if you want to check quick information before even heading to your report screen, I invite you to maybe have a go at the smart report screen first. You might find it's a bit easier to use if you don't want to do final year reports, just to check certain figures and also interact with certain reports in there as well. Now, for our next feature that we're covering today is under consolidated reporting. So from the left-hand menu under reports, we've got consolidated reporting. Now, the consolidated reporting feature, what it does is, that the name suggests, it combines and collates the information from multiple entities that you have on your Simple Invest and prepares a consolidated set of reports. So to use this, from the left-hand menu, we can go into the group and select a pre-selected group that we've created previously. So I've created one for myself. If you want to create your one for your own, you can click on New Group, and that'll create a group for you. Now, these are the ones I've added in previously. If you want to add more entities to this group, you can click on Edit, and you can select any of the ledgers from your Simple Invest into the screen. Now, something to note is it only pulls the entities from your entity screen. So it has to have a ledger within Simple Invest to be able to use that within the consolidated reporting screen. Now, once you've selected your entities, it will start populating the information from those entities in screen. The first tab is your cover letter. You can customize the cover letter. You can change the name from here. You've got your summary. So it'll give you an overall summary of all the entities and the values of the investments. You've got the performance tab. Performance tab will again collate the information from all the investments. It will give you the values, the income amounts, and also the performance if it's going up or down in value. Now, on your right-hand side, you've also got the asset allocation. So for some users that don't like to look at a spreadsheet full of numbers, we've also got the ability to provide that information in pretty graphs as well. Now, within these pretty graphs, on the right-hand side, you've got the ability to click on settings and really alter how the information is displayed. So you can group the assets by asset type, defensive or versus growth, the codes, and also by control accounts as well. So control accounts being your chart of accounts as well. The next tab is for your tax position. So that'll give you an overall tax position for the entities. Now, the next two tabs are under financial. So that'll give you an idea of the financial performance of the entities grouped together. Now, the first tab initially, when we did release the consolidated reporting screen, was your financials tab, but we've since expanded that to the report screen, which will inevitably take over your financials tab. So under your report screen, you've got your financial reports position. So here under your position, you've got your consolidated financial statement of financial position here. So it'll group all those figures together. Now, this screen is customizable as well. So you can customize the figures, but also the layout of these screens. So I'll first talk about eliminations. On the right-hand side, you'll see this eliminations screen. Now, within this elimination screen, here you'll be able to eliminate some of the figures that you believe are double counting. So for example, what I could do is I could perhaps eliminate maybe a loan between the two entities. Pick those two accounts. Let's say it's these two accounts that are maybe double counting between the two entities, and select eliminate and post adjustments. And essentially what that will do is remove those items from this particular report. Also, you've got the ability to edit the layout. So within this layout, you can change the heading titles. You can also identify which items should be a heading or a subheading by clicking on the arrows as well. And you can also consolidate the items. So for example, let's say you've got BHP and you've got CBA shares, and for whatever reason you decide you want to consolidate them together as one line item within that particular report. So I can click on select consolidation for BHP group and do the same thing for the CBA shares as well. And on the bottom of the screen, I can click on consolidate, and that'll consolidate those figures together. Now, our next report is going to be your operating statement, but same thing, you've got the ability to eliminate, you've got the ability to edit the layout as well, change the headings, and consolidate the figures from here. Now, if you do make a mistake, That's okay. There's always a reset button. So even if you eliminate accounts that you weren't supposed to eliminate, you'll have a reset button to reset that. If you change the headings and you weren't supposed to consolidate something that you weren't supposed to, you've got the reset template and that will reset it back to what it originally was looking like. Now, lastly, the most recent one that we've added in is under your investment report or a consolidated investment report, but it's similar to the performance screen. It'll give you a breakdown, but with this screen, we've added the ability to add customization. So again, you can edit the layout. Here you can edit and add in the different types of headings from this screen. So here you can show, hey, I want to show the unrealized movement. So again, very similar to the performance screen, but this one allows more customization. So this is the direction that we're going into. So you can also drag and drop the different headings as well and reorder them in whichever way that you want. Now under here, you've got the preview. So you can preview how that, whichever changes that you've made. And similarly, with the other screens, you've got the ability to select things for consolidation, adjust the headings, and also reset the template if you do make any mistakes there. Okay. Now within these screens, you've also got the generate PDF button, and the generate PDF will collate all the information and provide it to you in a single PDF. Okay, so all those reports that I've just shown you, all the spreadsheets as well, will all be in that spreadsheet or in that PDF when you generate it at the end. So yeah, so that's our consolidated reporting screen. It's something that we've developed because of user feedback. We noticed that there were a lot of users that were preparing consolidated reports initially, but they were essentially grabbing the information from Simple Invest, preparing their own spreadsheets, or perhaps even putting that into another software. So essentially what we've done, we've decided that there was a need for this. So we've created that. We've got all the data in here, so you'll be able to prepare those reports. And as we go, as you can see here, over the last year, we've added a full range of different financial reports within the screen, and we'll continue building on that based on user feedback. So definitely invite you to use that there. Okay, so that's the end of the content that we had for you today. So again, just showing you the consolidated reporting feature and the smart reports feature. I'd like to spend a moment just to thank you for your time today. I know everyone's busy today, so hopefully you've got some insight on some of the features that we have in Simple Invest. If there's any other questions that you have, please feel free to use the Q&A. We'll spend the next few minutes just answering any questions that you have about Simple Invest. But if you are heading off today, again, thank you. And have a look out for your emails for any future recordings that we have throughout the entire week. Okay, now we've got a few questions in regards to features that aren't quite there. So that's okay if the features aren't quite there. We do have one of the Simple Invest 360 Pro team members here. So if there's any features requests, definitely put that in the Q&A as well. Okay, so we've got a question about the cash flow statements. So I'll go into the cash flow statements in Smart Reports, and we'll go into reporting. So if you look on this particular screen, you on the right-hand side, you've got cash flow labels on the right-hand side. So within your cash flow labels for this cash flow screen to work, each account would need a cash flow label attached to it. If it doesn't have a cash flow label, there's a chance that it won't populate on the actual cash flow statement itself. So if it does give you a warning saying, hey, there's particular accounts without that there, and it will be excluded, you'll have to click on this item here, go through each item, ensuring that it's something that you do want to show on the cash flow statements, and just allocating a cash flow label to that particular account. Then, so that's something to look out for. Now, once you make those changes, again, at the bottom right-hand corner, you can click on save to update that there. Now, once you update it, you will have to refresh, and that will just update it with any items that was previously perhaps missing, um, because it might have not had the label initially, and then it'll add it to the cash flow statement. Yeah. Okay. We've got a question that was answered by one of my colleagues, but I think it's also important to share this one as well. If you can't see the consolidated reporting screen in your Simple Invest 360, you have to check your user roles. Okay, so by default, everyone should have access to the consolidated reporting screen and even smart report screen. But if the admin user has gone into the user roles and removed that access for some of your users for your firm, you'll have to enable that again. So you'll have to check with your admin user to ensure that that's available there. We've got a question on wrap accounts. So with the wrap accounts, there's a few ways of processing wrap accounts within Simple Fund 360 or Simple Invest 360. One way is doing the one investment method, and the other one is doing the multiple investment method. There are pros and cons with how to do this, but we do have help articles on our help knowledge base center on how the methods work. What I recommend for you though is if you weren't too sure, is log a support call with us. Because the support consultant could sit down with you and go through the different options, the pros and cons between each one. And then you can decide which one that you want to do. And then they'll walk you through the process of how to actually record that within the software itself. So yeah, it's a bit of an involved question, and you have to determine, what kind of things you have to process in your fund. But I would recommend the best case is to log a support call, and we'll walk you through your options and how to process it. But otherwise, you can go to our help and read some articles on the different methods on how to process that.